He just chews on it, or goes to try and chew on it the whole time. And it's like, no.
Surface, you're evil.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, I could see why he was trying to time it.
We're only 6 minutes late. That's fine for Drek.
Yeah, but it's the whole thing of like we start and then there's this you going, and it's at that stage where he just puts everything in his mouth and there's nothing
Actually,
that you want.
No, that part wasn't even on it. Like that was like at the start of the countdown.
I know that, but I could see he was trying to time it for that.
Regardless, he's a troll.
Look, I could see it coming, and I wanted to, have that be the beginning because that would be funny. It just opens up, and then he's just putting stuff in his mouth, and
no. Welcome to Talking Drek, where we start off every episode with the highest quality of nonsense.
Boobies.
Oh, naturally. The greatest gift that we've been given. The birds, naturally.
The great tit.
Mm. But just the one.
Occasionally they come in pairs.
Oh, help us. Right. Now we're going to do the usual rounds of who has done gaming.
If you want.
I don't know. I just show up here. You throw in a link and like a pathological problem, I click it.
Yeah, okay, I'll continue on from what I was describing earlier. Not the couch incident. No, like the only gaming I've done this. Actually, no, we finished off Bear's heroic game. Which is annoying because now I'm not in a game.
So he's cancelled that? Because I know he's shut down.
He didn't cancel Monday nights, but he basically like we'd done like 13 episodes, so he's like, okay, this is a good break point. And so then he's gonna run a quote unquote ladies' night game,
right?
In that same time slot, which that's fine. But it was a good ending. Partly because we completely and utterly stole his thunder. So with heroic, it's got. He calls it the deck of whimsy cards.
Yeah.
And it's like, play this for a bonus to your opponent, or play this to re-roll your deck. So, just all sorts of things like that.
Yeah.
And one of the cards is play this to steal the initiative for the round for your team, aka all of the players.
Yeah.
Apparently there's 3 of them in the deck. And we got all of them. Because it's not like you get the cards and then you hold on to them from session to session. They just get randomly dealt every round or every session. Anyways, so we had 3 rounds of just like, we're going to do stuff. And the bad guys can't do anything. Then I'm like, well, we do that once. And then I'm like, hey, can I do this? And I drop the card. And he's like, I guess you can. And so we do it for a second round. Then we finish that. And someone's like, I'm going to play this one. He's like, good, because there's no more in the deck. That means they're all out. But basically, by the end of that, we took out the bad guy. So, bad guy didn't get to fight back. It's kind of funny.
Fair enough. I mean, that's one way of gaming the system.
I mean, and it's not even manipulating the system. Technically, we're playing it rules as written.
No, I know. Like, you're not exactly. Anyway, that's how it's set up, which is all cool.
Yeah, that's something where stuff like that definitely needs it. Because I don't want to say he hasn't play tested. He's been running all sorts of games. But it is something where I think while it's a cool perk for the players, I would edit the deck to at least no more than 2 of those cards.
I mean, I do not use the cards when I run heroic. I straight up go, this is not a part of the games that I run. I find that yes, it adds value to the game. However, the cost of its involvement slows down the overall player interaction, because it'll be looking at your character sheet, discussing things, looking at your cards, and I just find that there is a better smoothness to my DMing style or my GMing style if the players are only focusing on their character sheets and what their powers can do and how they can play to that.
That's fair. And I can see that. I don't even necessarily disagree. I don't necessarily disagree with it. I mean, your table, your rules. Like in our case, I'll be honest, the cards did not get played very often. Mostly because we usually forgot. Because we're playing online, and then he's got the cards in Roll20. So then you have to have Roll20 open. Then you have to remember that you're using the cards in Roll20. And I think it just happened that we were all looking and, realize, oh, wait a second, we've all got that card, and there's nothing saying you can't use him back to back to back. So, because that's the thing, is something like that, I don't know if you would want to put in like a house rule of, there's only 2 in the deck, or they can't be played back to back or something.
I mean, that's a part of it.
Yeah, but one thing I will say though, as far as like in favor of using them over chucking them out of the game, I think it does add a little bit more comic book feel to it. In just if you want to push for like a lot of like you get one like +1 column shift, or if you're doing a team stunt, then you get +3 column. Again, those kinds of things.
Yeah,
that just kind of give you a little bit more comic book feel to it.
That's fair.
So,
I know that when I run the heroic games, I very much so. I tried to go for the Bronze Age style, and I quickly realized I can't. Like, my style is very much of what is defined. What Bear tells me is Iron Age, which is the 90s. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna lean in. I've always been the one that would lean into my strengths. I'm not gonna try and make myself into something that I'm not. So I very much went for like, here's the 90s, or like my style of it, which is reminiscent of the 90s. There's a lot of like this and this, and I just find that the comic books that I would read or that I'm into is very much in that vein.
A little more, lack of a better way to put it, standardized. You're not going to see a lot of whimsy or surprise change, things like that.
Exactly. Like the comic books that I read are not really comic in that sense. That's not really
they're graphic novels.
Exactly. Yeah, they're graphic novels. Like I've got like the Punisher's Max series, which are it's a graphic novel. That's what it is. I've got the Fable series, which again, it's a graphics novel. It's not a comic. The few even the comics that I have is like the Batman, but it's like the New 52, which is the 2000s, where it's a graphic novel. There's nothing fantastical in it. It's horrifying. It's dark. What happens in there, and I like that. The closest thing I have to comic or like comical is like my Etrigan series, which is from like late 80s, early 90s.
Sure.
And that's probably the closest thing, but that you're following a demon that is rhyming as he's trying to take over hell. I was just like, well, here we are. I bought into this. I'm okay with this. Except for the Etrigan, the demon, New 52 series. That was abysmal.
I remember New 52. Man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's like the majority of my comics that I have for DC is like the New 52. There's quite a few of them that I enjoyed. There's some of them I went, okay, that was nice money.
I get what they were trying to do with it. It was interesting. That's the problem with them. That is a problem with American style comics. It's like, okay, Batman created in the 30s, and now it's almost 100 years later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but it's the same guy. Like,
I mean, I don't look at it. It's not. Okay, let me take Judge Dredd.
mm-hmm.
They have aged him inconsistently in the same timeline as real life, meaning he's like up in his 60s or 70s at this stage, from when they first created him.
Right.
I don't subscribe to that. So when it's like Batman, it's like, well, his character has evolved. He's been reimagined over and over and over, and that's depending on like what do the writers want. Like the latest one we've seen is absolute Batman. Not my style. I don't like seeing a Batman that is effectively the equivalent of the same size as what we think Bane would be, running around cutting people's hands off, and I'm like, okay.
I haven't bought new stuff in a long time, but there's a difference in what you're talking about. Like with Judge Dredd,
yeah,
it's a science fiction setting, so even if you're aging it up, it doesn't matter because it's in this science fiction setting. The problem with Batman is it's modern day. So if you want to keep all of that stuff canon, well, again, he should be like 160. Even people are like, oh, comic book time, it's like 7 years in real life equals like 1 in then. But even then, you're still like, it's been forever. He'd be super old at this point.
No, I get that, but it's like you've got all sorts of like there's different timelines and what have you. I don't care. I look at like what is the story run.
Mm-hmm.
That's as far as like I get into this. I am not I'm an enthusiast. I would not call myself a fan.
Yeah, no. That's actually funny that you mentioned that, because that's kind of the approach that I take to it.
Yeah,
it's like, yes, you have to ditch a lot of those. Yes, you can reference back to it for just some fun stories.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But no, because a lot of people are complaining, like at the last James Bond, well, they killed James Bond at the end, and I'm like, I'm actually okay with that, because if it's the same kind of premise. Even if you're just sticking to the movies, well, it's like they're trying to say that all of the Bond movies are the same guy from Dr. No through whatever the last one was, which I forget.
No, that's fine. But I like the concept of like 007. It's a title. It's a rank. It's not a person. Like,
I don't like that, because then it makes it too easy for modern creators to then take it and just say, oh, this is mine. So yeah, Bond isn't, some Scottish white guy. He's a, black, Caribbean woman and a lesbian. What?
Well, you got to put a chicken out and make her gay.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't like that, but I was thinking about it, and basically what you said is like, what's the current storyline? Honestly, I would be fine if they rebooted James Bond, say, every decade. And they're like, okay, we're gonna sign Bond. We've got an idea for like 4 movies. Cool. You are Bond for the next 4 movies, and we're going to do, quote unquote,
makes sense.
origin, and then we can just run the stories.
Makes sense, or even do standalones, which is what they did previously. Just like, here's the actor, he does a whole bunch of like standalone movies, that's it, and then keep on going. I mean, that's generally like
they weren't standalones though.
Well, okay, no. So take like the one with Daniel Craig. There's a plot line and a thread that was connecting in the various ones, and the older ones, they were usually standalones with a few nudges of like, "Oh, do you remember Spectre?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember Spectre." They've been referenced again. Yeah. So like in that sense, that's what I meant. So again, Daniel Craig had the entire like, here is the arc, Casino Royale. Oh, fucking love that.
That one was so good.
Oh, I love the whole thing of like, who is this villain? He's autistic and he can count.
No, here's the funny thing. Have you ever read the book?
No.
Okay. Casino Royale with Daniel Craig is modernized, but for all intents and purposes, it's the book.
Oh, okay.
The whole scene, like where they're torturing him and like, whipping him in the nuts with the rope.
Yep.
A little bit different, but for all intents and purposes, in the book. The car chase, the whole, it's very, very close. But he's playing like Baccarat instead of Texas Hold'em, and the only reason they did Texas Hold'em is because that's when it blew up at the time. So
okay, but I mean, I have no idea when it comes to like card games or what have you. But what I did enjoy about like Casino Royale was the whole thing of Mads Mikkelsen having to portray a global terrorist who basically goes, "No, I target the finances. I do these things so that I manipulate the markets that will then allow various horrible organizations to have money be laundered, expanded, and funded right back into them because he plays the legal system by doing horrible things that will then allow them to get away," which is why the hitman had a target of a plane that was being unveiled. I was like, that's a brilliant modern like criminal activity thing. I really like that.
Right, and if I remember correctly, that was basically the premise of the book. Now, in this case, it was like, he was a Soviet agent, but effectively did the same thing. Yeah,
it was different types, but I like that. These are cool things. But then it's also going a bit of a tangent here. It's why I really enjoy some of the Bourne, the Bourne series, but also what's the other one? Tom Clancy. No, Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy has got some good, like, even either as the games, the books, or the movies that comes out based around what he did. Again, I really like these spy aspects because what he does, he takes away the romanticization. Well, it's slightly romanticized, but he takes away
the Bond away from it.
Exactly, and it's a lot of like I'm just happening to be here doing these things, or like this is actually a department that's underfunded, but we've now gotten it tangled into this conspiracy, and well, here's the team. It's 6 people, and we've got to stop it. It was like, well, why don't we have all this funding? Because it's a 6 people thing, targeting on a very niche thing that we haven't even proven is real.
Yeah. No, I love me a good spy movie.
Bringing it. Listen, someone has to say the truth.
Look, I'm going to let you two nerd out on your thing because I get it. But honestly, God,
this isn't any of your thing at all.
Pretty much.
All right, Seraphis.
I was about to take this and never connected with.
But if you take the route where I would want to take this is take these movies and then apply them into something like either a detective game or an investigation game, or have it as a setup for not D&D, but like something where the players have to solve a murder or any of that form. Is that something that would catch your interest?
somewhat, but the whole James Bond thing never connected with me.
Fair.
And my godmother took me to see so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, it was
I tried.
It was a major thing for my dad. I enjoyed it because big explosions, gun go pew. As a child, I was like, "This is what I just enjoy." I enjoy Die Another Day, but then that's again, I want simple things in my life, and that's it provided that. I didn't care about the overcomplicated things until my tism really kicked in. I was like, "Oh yes, hyper focus. Tell me more." But I quite like taking some of these and then turn around and say, like, okay, well, we're now going to be doing to be perfectly transparent, we're going to be doing a Dark Heresy 40k. You work for the Inquisition. Here's a bunch of things you now have to unfold. Have fun, kids. And then off you go, and I can play around with these things and have the setups.
But in Seraphis' defense, I can understand not using that to mine from, because you kind of have to enjoy watching or participating in the media in the first place to then be able to mine it, because otherwise you're just like, this is annoying, and you're not paying attention, and you're not going to pull those hooks and things that you want.
Yeah. Go on, sir.
Also, the whole fact is that I'm more of a history nerd, and it's kind of based on Christopher Lee. So
Jesus Christ, you're so right.
What's based on Christopher Lee?
James Bond is literally based on Christopher Lee.
There's heavy influence from what he did when he worked as
but also from Ian Fleming.
Yeah.
Yes,
but James Bond was Ian Fleming himself.
Well, there certainly was influences between the two, and because they were related, I think like Ian Fleming was Christopher Lee's uncle, like there's like a distance relationship between the two of them,
like a second cousin or something. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think I knew that.
Ian Fleming actually said that if there was anyone that he wanted to have played out, he wanted Christopher Lee to be the man with the golden gun. But originally, the man with the golden gun, from what I understand, was just meant to be like an East Indian like thug that Christopher Lee then upgraded to have a better class of criminality to him. But yeah, Brian, I would just recommend go and find Count Dankula and watch the 2-hour-long life history on Christopher Lee, and just look at the man and go, how has he lived like this?
Step cousin.
But yeah,
but still,
so there was still like the relation is there, and like I think Christopher Lee shared some things with Ian Fleming, and there was some form of influence between the two of them. Regardless,
didn't he tell him the story about how he met the guys who took out Rasputin?
Yeah, but like that's because they were attending the same kindergarten or something. Oh wait, no, not Rasputin. He met the murderers of Rasputin when he was a child, because they were going to the same kindergarten, because he is technically nobility from his mom's side. Like honestly, Count Dankula, go and watch that 2 hours of your life that is not wasted, and you're gonna look at it and go, how is this human being real? How is he?
And then go onto like Spotify or YouTube Music or whatever, and then check out Christopher Lee's rock albums.
Jesus Christ. He did
that. Are they better than
70, 80?
Are they better than William Shatner's or Leonard Nimoy's albums?
Yes, because he can actually sing.
miles.
He oh god, okay, I forget what they call.
He's a trained opera singer.
Yeah, he's a trained opera singer, but like
a tenor. A tenor. A tenor.
God, what are they called again? Rhapsody of Fire had him on like 6 of their albums as the narrator, and at one of their songs, he was basically went like, "Hey, can I join you in this one?" They were like, "Sure," and he sang opera along with the lyrics. I was just like, my fucking word. opera singer. I mean, I know people were going like, "Oh, he wasn't really a spy." I'm like, well, spy work does include a lot of paperwork, and till his death, he never said anything about what he did. And there was actually a journalist who was just like, "Okay, so I understand you were working along with then the SAS, or like the operations of the Secret Service, hunting down the various Nazis. What can you share about it now that a lot of this has been done?" It's like, "Oh well, let me ask you a question. Can you keep a secret?" And the guy went, yeah, of course. And Christopher Lee leaned in and went, "So can I." I was like, my God, just stop it. My God, your class, my good sir.
Oh wait, no, I think. Oh,
Yeah, but
I'm not sure.
It gets no. We're on one. Sorry, we're on one. Who
No,
else?
no. Hold on. I remember there was. Oh, I saw something, and I want to say it was Christopher Lee that brought it up, or there was somebody involved in one of the Bond movies where, like, as they're producing the movie, they're like, okay, so we're gonna kill you, and so you scream and do blah blah blah.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah, so he was meant to be stabbed by Wormtongue.
Wormtongue.
And it's like, oh, you're meant to be screaming out like this. And Christopher Lee turned around to Peter Jackson and went, "That's not what happens. Because you see, when you stab someone, you're driving the air out. So it's more like a gasp. And then you go on." And Peter Jackson, during one of the interviews, just went, and then he went on to talk about clandestine work that he apparently did during World War II. And I stopped asking questions.
Yeah,
the
song of Rhapsody of Fire was the magic of the Wizard's Dream.
Yes.
Sure.
But again, we're on one. Again, who else but Sir Christopher Lee can go on and basically go, I'm going to date a Swedish noble lady. And her father naturally looks upon him and goes, "Oh, fucking commoner, peasant, not even Swedish. I shall make him go through all these trials and tribulations that, of course, Christopher Lee just hoops and hops through them. Why? Because he cheats in life. He's just great. God looked upon him and went, you need luck skills of 11 out of 5. And he just went through it. And with the final thing that the father threw at him went like, okay, you can only marry my daughter if you get approval from the King of Sweden. Well, you see, Brian, I said before that Christopher Lee's mother was noble, right? Which meant that he had to attend a special kind of primary school and kindergarten, which is exclusive for the nobility. Well, who else would happen to be in the same kindergarten as him but the King of Sweden? So Christopher Lee walks up into Stockholm, basically goes, "I'd like to speak with the king. Here's my name." The king goes, "Oh shit, that's my old pal." Invites him in. He walks up there and has a lovely chat with him. Basically goes, "By the way, I've got this test. I've got to do it. I'm dating this girl, and I need the father's permission." And he says, "I can only get it if you give permission to me to give to him." And he went, "Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. You get my blessing, the whole 9 yards." So he goes back, blows this Swedish noble lady's dad's mind just out of water. Like, "You actually did it." It's like, "Yeah, I've accomplished everything." And then at the end of the day, he called off the wedding with the reasons being he cannot provide the life that she deserves with the income that he has. And it would be unfit for him to lower her standards of life. My man, what kind of gentry were you raised on? And just for your interest, he was actually raised to become a world diplomat. He was raised to speak 8 different languages.
And he had learnt about 12 when he actually died, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're not even saying like, oh, he could speak, like you would do after high school. Like, no, he could hold full-length conversations. And it's not even like, oh, these are like a bunch of like languages that are clumped together. No, it's like Mandarin, English, French, Swedish. I think it was like German, Russian, and it's like just it was insane what he could speak
in the native consonants as well.
Yes, like he sure there might be a bit of a accent, but like he could do that. It was just unbelievable. So that's what he was raised to do as a child. Like he was prepared to become this, and he just went, the stage is calling me. And he went off, and that's what he did. And again, go to Count Dankula's YouTube page, find the 2 hours, because there's just so much there. But
well, for now, he's on schedule for December 5th.
Sounds good. That's a long wiki. That is a long ass wiki.
That's not the longest. I'm looking at I gauged the length of a wiki by the size of the little scroll thing, and it's small. I've seen smaller. This will probably be 30, 45 minutes. That's what she says all the time. I mean, what?
So no, honestly, it's definitely one of those where it just goes like, wow, that's I just don't. Insane, incredible, and the man has won in life 3 times over.
Yeah, and that's always the interesting thing about people like that, where it's like you kind of feel like small and insignificant, and you're like, there's no way that anyone can do that. But it's like, no, here is like documented history. We know that this is how this person actually was. You're like, really?
On the topic of history and feeling small. So we are all aware of Alexander the Great, and he just batshit insane things he accomplished before he reached.
I'm familiar with Alexander the not so notorious. Yes,
yeah, not so notorious. He just meandered around, Middle East. Went for small vacations in northern India, came back, said hi to Egypt, and decided that here's a nice place. I was like, who shall take over? It's like, the strong shall rule. I'm like, what? Excuse me? Can we have that in writing, preferably with a name? So you got him. Now, fast forward a few hundred years, and there is a certain bureaucrat that is trying to make a name of himself. No one particularly important. His name is just, Julius Caesar, or Caesar. And he's going through things, and he reaches his 30s, and he has an absolute meltdown because he's like, my God, I'm 30 years old, and my idol Alexander the Great was already conquering things. I've just been doing political stuff. Oh my God. Like, Julius Caesar felt insignificant when he looked at his own life work. Mind you, he was not a small person within the Senate of Rome. He was the guy that 2 of the greatest factions would have to go to make sure that the political maneuvering of the Senate would actually get shit done, because he was such a good bureaucrat. He was so good at making people realign themselves with other different interests, up until he got the idea of like, why am I working for other people? Why don't I just work for myself? Let's see how I do at that. Oh God, I'm actually good at this. Fantastic. I'm doing so well. What's that? You think I'm doing so well? I've been told to go out and do things up in North. I'm going to go and show you that I can do it. Which way is goal again? Off he goes, takes goal, does a whole bunch of things, gets sent a letter like, you're too good at this. You're so popular. We need you to consider the potential of offing yourself. I'm like, don't like that. I'm going to come back and convince you not to via the backhand of my fist. Again,
in Star Trek, we call that the motherfucking pimp hand.
Exactly. Specifically Star Trek in the year 2006.
Specifically Star Trek.
Yes, 2400 of our Lord. The most tested diplomatic method is the pimp hand.
Worked every time for Cisco.
Yeah. So again, Love that again when you look at like Julius Caesar and all the things he was doing, and then he turned around and went, oh, you know what, fuck it, we need to modernize Rome by allowing all the soldiers that fought for me to be given land, and we need to give citizenship to all these other people. And then the Senate just went, you absolute radical, you're going to upheave our power. It's like, well, how else are we going to keep the peace? I'm like, we're going to keep the peace via this, knives. Aha. It's just history. You can't make it up. Like, again, it's one of those wonderful things. Like, fiction requires consistent, logical progress. History disregards these requirements.
Yeah,
there are things that
exactly. If it's not consistent in a book, you're like, oh, this is crap. They can't even keep this stuff straight. And then you read a history book, and you're like, were they drunk? Most likely, yes.
You read some of them, and it's just like, oh, there's a 5-foot free American infantryman who had polio, like various diseases. He was told that like he was too short and too weak to be in the infantry, so he lied and bribed the doctors to get him in there. What happened to that man? Well, he became one of the most insane soldiers that was seen on the front lines, deployed into Northern Africa, where he decided that, oh, my tank has decided to break down. I'm going to hop out, run towards the enemy tank, climb on top of it, open the hatch to go, guten Tag, throw some grenades down, close it, and then have it go boom. Before he comes down, he goes, oh, I would like to take some more grenades. And then comes back out and runs to the next one. And the Germans are like, what the fuck is he doing? And he's just like, I am here to murder Germans. I will do it. I will do it efficiently. I will do it productively. And you will not stop me. And it's just like, oh, well, he got shot. He got better. He came back to the front line. He lost communications. What did he do? He stood up. He ran to the next trench over and basically went, here's the orders. Went to the next trench over. Here's the orders. And everyone's just like, that can't be our commander running from trench to trench doing this. But we've gotten orders. We better go and do it. So they would all go out and do it. And then as they were marching forward, you would just see this 5-foot free, stonky little king absolutely yoinking his way towards the enemies like the Terminator, going, I will get them, I will get them, I will get them. We've all seen With a Chance of Meatballs. Well, this was just the police officer, short, stonky, and with not a care in the world. Why? Because there were Nazis in front of him, and that was an offense to him. He had to remove them. He terrified them. I like how Seraphis is kind of realizing what I'm going on about, but my finesse about dramatizing it is entertaining him.
I like how he's blending into the background now.
You're having to waff yourself.
Oh, there we go. I'm coming back now.
There's the paleness we know of Seraphis.
Seraphis, this is why you bring me on. I just go on rants like, here's the historical things, but I'm going to put the finesse onto it. Why? Because it's fun. It's technically still accurate. It's just more funnier this way to enjoy.
Oh, absolutely.
I am going to like kind of, disappoint you guys in the fact that I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, I can't remember his name. I'm going to see if I can find it again.
It's not like at first I wanted to say you were talking about Audie Murphy, but that's not Audie Murphy.
No.
I might be him. I might just have gotten a lot of the details wrong. Because he was holding off like several tanks, wasn't he?
He's the one Fury's based around, isn't it? No, not Fury.
Fury's about a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will have to go and like refresh my facts on the history on that. I probably have gotten a lot wrong if it was for Audie Murphy. I can't. No, that's again Audie Murphy.
No, but there was someone in the Africa campaign for World War II that was like that, though. Almost positive.
Probably. I'm not saying it was wrong. I don't know who you're talking about.
No, I don't remember the name. I just remember the actions, because you sit there and go, this can't be real. I mean, listen, if I told you that there was a Scotchman named Jack Churchill who decided that on D-Day he was going to march into the beaches in a kilt playing the bagpipes, and the Germans would go, "We can't shoot him. He's mentally challenged. It would be wrong of us to do that." So they would shoot everyone else except for him as he marched up towards them, with him finally going, "Okay, that's close enough. Get out my sword, run up there and charge them." And the Germans going, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yes, I would absolutely believe you because I did the wiki article for him on the October 21st.
That man was insane.
His article was a lot shorter than I was expecting.
Yeah. Oh God, who else? Then we've got the guy who's also dubbed the Unknown Soldier, who fought communists during the Finnish War of Independence, or the Finnish Winter War. Went on and joined Germany in the Eastern Front to kill more communists. Then, towards the end of World War II, decided, like, I'm just gonna flip sides. Dipped out, went low for a little while, jumped on a ship, got near USA, went, I'd like to live there. Jumped off the ship, swam to the shores, worked as a janitor, joined the US Army, became a Green Beret, went to Vietnam, was told, "You're fighting communists," and he went, "Oh boy, here I go killing again." And he was just non-stop, like, are there communists in the world? Yes. I have a mission.
Yeah.
Sometimes history is just fun.
I love history. Like, there are just things in there where you go, what the fuck were they thinking? And how the fuck did they get away with that?
Mostly, how did they get away with it?
Yeah. It's just like, there's just so many events. Like have you all seen Outlaw King? Or Outlaw, based on Robert the Bruce of Scotland. Right. It is a Netflix film. It has its inaccuracies, but it's about as decently close. There are certain things that they changed, like how Robert the Bruce's wife was treated by the English. They did not mistreat her that badly because she was still considered noble. She was still given some respect. She was just basically locked up in a castle and told, "You're now our hostage." But Robert the Bruce basically takes place after Braveheart and the whole William Wallace and his rebellion, and how Robert the Bruce then went on to go, like, right, I'm going to reignite the passion for revolution, and we're going to fight out against the English, and how he basically with 50 men had to run away to Ireland, where the Irish then went, "Yeah, we're not going to give you any help, and we're not going to host you. We're kicking you back." So he then had to run away with these 50 men back up to Scotland and go to the various places, rage a guerrilla warfare, rally up the men, and eventually, do the big battle against England, where he defeated them and cemented for Scotland to have its independence, its own kingdom, up until later, where they were brought back into the UK. I absolutely would recommend. It's quite good, and it's Chris Pine that's playing the king, or Robert the Bruce. So I certainly would recommend that.
See, Seraphis, we've given you all sorts of history subjects for your next game. You're welcome.
You make it sound like I don't already know shit.
You don't. That's why we're here for you.
Well, Seraphis, we're just we're here to enable you.
Right now, you can enable me by giving me an alibi. That'd be helpful.
An alibi?
Yeah.
You weren't at home at 7:30 in the evening. You were with me having beers.
We were all there.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally just
people from. Yeah, absolutely. So 2 people from 2 different continents came to you yesterday night at 7:30. Which time zone? Yes. What do you mean? Yes, it was 7:30. It's like time doesn't align all the way through. That's not
You're
my
the
problem.
investigator. Figure it out.
Listen, I don't have a degree in space physics. I'm like, you what? Yeah, you go and figure it out.
I believe it was a Jeremy Bearimy. The Good Place.
Jeremy Bear. I have not watched The Good Place.
I have, but I'm trying to.
Jeremy Bearimy is the timeline of the afterlife, because nothing happens in a straight line in the afterlife.
All right.
And so when Michael describes it, he writes it as Jeremy Bearimy, because that's what it looks like.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've watched it.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It was actually like for a show trying to do, highbrow philosophy. It was kind of interesting, but been a while.
It was a bit like Scrubs, except for death and philosophy rather than medicine.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Anyways, why do you need an alibi?
No reason.
We don't need to discuss this online.
Fair enough.
Brian, have you learned nothing? Whatever you say on the internet stays on the internet, open for all to see.
I'm usually an idiot. Just
fair enough. I mean, that's why I scrubbed like many of my Twitter accounts. I had one where it was my real name and everything. I was like, no, I'm gonna keep reporting myself until Twitter just nukes it.
Ash, did you hear what Twitter did?
No, I have not.
They have now enabled what region you're in, or what region you signed up in, I think it is, and what app store you got the Twitter app from. And especially for American politics, they're finding that super MAGA, posting guy, India, it's all sorts of people who, let's just say, shouldn't be involved in local politics, or presenting that they're involved in local politics, absolutely have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm shocked.
Right.
But I think it's the transparency that they're now forcing out of you can't hide anymore.
Right. Exactly. No one was really shocked, just no way to prove it. So, and technically you can hide it, and post from a VPN or something, but they even tag that. They're just something doesn't add up here. You should be careful. It's oh, that's interesting. So,
I mean, that's fair. Twitter is what it is these days. I am not. I mean, I have a Facebook, but I don't use it. It's there so that my wife can basically go, "I'm married to," and my profile. That is literally the entire existence of my Facebook. But it's been locked down so hard, most people can't find me. I'm like, it's good because I don't use it.
She can tag you when she wants to say, "Look, we did this cute thing, and here's our picture."
Yeah, and that's all it will be there for. It's for her benefit, not for mine. And my Twitter has been nuked twice, and I'm not coming back. I'm glad for that. I realized I was developing anxiety because of Twitter. I was like, no, I don't like opening Twitter, seeing that I have more than 5 notifications, and immediately going, oh God, what did I say this time? I don't know what I did. I was just sharing my opinion on things, and apparently people don't like that. If I just say, here's what I think, here's how I run my games, here's how I enforce it, and people go, you're bigoted. I'm like, what do you mean? I just run a game of where...
Sax, no, there's your problem. You are trying to talk to the RPG community. No. Like, here's a community that... okay, I don't know if I've told this story before, but here's a community where someone was asking, hey, how do I do this? Because in 5th edition, they didn't have rules and stuff for it. So I'm like, oh. And AD&D had a solution for this. Here's how I adapted it for my 5e game. Da-da-da. Yep. Awesome. Simple. You know what the response back was? Oh, sorry. I also added, oh, here's this game and this game that also do these kind of things too. You can take inspiration from that kind of stuff as well, from these games. Don't have to buy anything. I literally like put the stuff up there so they could see it. Response back. Excuse me, I want official stuff, and don't be trying to push other games on me. I play D&D.
Do you remember when the 5e wheelchairs came out?
Unfortunately, the combat wheelchairs.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
I basically said, listen, I am not going to be using it. This is not something I see being beneficial to my games. If I am bringing it in, and my players goes into dungeons, they will encounter problems with this, and I don't play with the high level of fantasy, so that's fine. I got a whole bunch of people basically going, so you're ableist. And I went, well, I just play to a level of realism that I find enjoyable. And I was like, oh, so people don't have access to these things? I'm like, no, because the people are usually peasants, and the examples you've given are nobles who have money and influence and connections to engineers. So no, they don't have access to this. It's like, oh, so you do these things. Like, what about people who are mute? Well, they suffer because they can't contact. There's no sign language. I'm like, what do you mean? There's thieves can't? Yes, for thieves, which is a mixture of slang, hand signals, and eye looks and internal communications. It's not a be all end all for this. And there was just like, they kept on going like, you need to put this into your game, otherwise you're being exclusionary. I went, well, these are my games. I can pick and choose what I want. It's my game. And I went, no, you have to be inclusive. I'm like, I am being inclusive. Anyone can sit and play what they would like. However, if you choose to play something that has a negative perk, then you will face the negative consequences of that. Oh, so if I want to play myself and I have like chronic pain, you're going to have me suffer? Yeah, you're going to have disadvantage on your constitution saves. Like, they're so evil. I'm like, yeah, that's my interpretations.
These fucktards will never have played End of the World, the RPG. Because you have to play yourself in that game.
That's right.
Yeah, is that the Fantasy Flight one where it's like zombie apocalypse and
there were like four. There were like four of them. Zombies, aliens, Cthulhu,
and Machine.
A machine? Okay.
Yep. Robot.
I always thought they looked interesting, but I never picked them up.
I got all the PDFs for them. They are amazingly fun.
I like, as a concept, I like them. But I view them with the specific mindset of, this is not a long-term campaign. This is like a 10 to 15 session campaign where you are there when it happens. You have to escape, and you have to find a place of safety.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, okay, but yeah, because that's my experience when I played All Flesh Must Be Eaten. Go on, Cephas.
Oh, so technically you can play either when the apocalypse happens, or you can play at a time after it's already happened, and people are trying to now survive.
But
there's actually 2 points that you can actually play at.
But Seraphis made the point that is actually key to it. You play as yourself.
Yeah.
Not, make up like the Uber character. No. Like, look at you. Look what's around you. There's your character. But I don't want to be this. It kind of sucks. That's what you are.
And the best part is, once you make your character, the whole table gets to judge how right you were, and for every point you get wrong, for every point you get wrong, you take a disadvantage. You take a negative level to that stat, so you have to be honest with yourself.
So if you try to bump yourself up and everybody, you're like, I'm really great at public speaking, and everyone's like, you're functionally retarded.
One could argue that people who are good at public speaking are functionally retarded. But
that's fair. That's fair. I didn't know that. Like I said, I knew of them. I never cracked them open and looked at them, but that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why I've had them around for quite a while, the PDFs, and I've wanted to incorporate them for Halloween games and stuff. But yeah, kids at this age don't gel well with that kind of stuff at the moment.
No. I like it as a concept. I just, when it came out, I was like, okay, this is nice, this is cool. It was just not on my repertoire of things that I wanted to run. And now it's more of a thing of okay, I would like to pick it up, but it would have to be we are now between games, and now we have to sit down and learn a new one, and we're going to do this for a short period of time while I then spend the remainder of my free time preparing for the next big game that we're going to do. Mind you, the other one that I quite like, or that I would like to try again, is Pendragon, but it comes with a caveat. I don't want to do the mythical King Arthur and knights and all of that, because with the group that has a strong leniency towards weird autism, it moves away from being, we're now experiencing the myth and legends of King Arthur and the lands of the Pendragon. And it becomes we are playing Pendragon and Crusader. So Crusader Kingdom, where the players are sitting there going I must now ensure my lineage progresses onwards. I shall have children. I shall have daughters. I shall ensure that the marriages are prolific about these. The last time I did it, I had a character where I allowed him to have 1 point above in his size, meaning he was effectively playing the mountain. And there was an ongoing joke about you are married to what is considered to be a stereotypical English woman in the 8th century. She is short. You are 6'10". She is maybe 5'1". Does the size of that difference comprehend to you, as well as the potential problems of her having children with you? And he just went, I don't care. I must have a lineage.
Also, she can't say no to you.
But it was funny because the players made the entire story one person learned, when my character dies, my offspring will not inherit all the lands. I now have to outmaneuver my own family and make sure that accidents happen. Mind you, there were other things like the what's it called? The Lord or the Duke of the land was basically all right if you were pagan or if you were Christian, but his son was then later no, I am pro-Christian, and I'm going to slowly push towards economically those who are pagan are going to have a higher tax upon them, and those who convert are going to have those taxes removed from them to encourage the Christianization of the land, which didn't go down overly well with some of the players who decided they wanted to be pagan, because they were well, my religion allows me to kill and slaughter. And when they had to have violence, it was difficult because sometimes they had to go to a city that was actually a monastery. So they were told, hey, welcome here. You are knights. Please understand, you are not allowed to draw your weapon. These are considered to be holy grounds working around this church. Drawing your weapon means that you are intending blood. What happens? The players do not draw their swords. They instead get out bows. Like, we haven't drawn weapons. I'm like, Jesus. I will let you argue that in court, in front of the Duke, and see how far you get.
We were hunting people.
You're not in mainland Europe.
It's just a friendly Cheney duck hunt. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a moment. I just have to step away for a moment.
No worries. My goodness.
Exactly. Ugh.
We had a stinker of a day today.
Why?
Oh, because it jumped from 22 degrees yesterday to fucking 31.
Almost like it's summer.
Yeah, and tomorrow it's going to be 35. But it's
take
not summer. No,
Take the kids to the beach.
Can't.
Why not?
Google South Australia coastline.
But why?
You'll see why I can't take the kids to the beach.
The South Australian coastline stretches for over 4,204 kilometers, featuring diverse landscapes, stunning beaches, and unique coastal towns.
Try the news.
Try the news. What's the news? Oh, the algae bloom.
Yes. A very toxic algal bloom has been going on for the last couple months.
That sucks.
Yes, it does. Like, fucking super sucks.
Well, I guess.
Pool party?
I was going to say, take them to the pool.
Yeah. We did get them a covered kiddie pool, so hopefully that can do pretty well for the
Your
summer.
houses have air conditioning? Yes. Okay, no, nobody in England has air conditioning. So
no, we have air conditioning. We have heating and air conditioning.
Okay, good. I just I didn't know.
I mean, it's not like standardized or anything. Like, yeah, but like, yeah, no, it's pretty common.
Okay.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, I was just curious because like the number of first world countries that don't do air conditioning, it's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, but dude, we were the first country to have nationalized like power grid. So like every home was connected to the power grid.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And technically there's parts of the US, like the Northeast US doesn't really have it, but again, I wasn't sure. I was just asking. Actually, no, but in those places, they'll get like window AC units. It's like really weird. Then it's like, I got to get the air conditioner out, or I've got to put it away. I'm like, but why? Just build it into your house. The house is 100 years old. Get a new house.
Oh, to be fair, some of the houses that are like, I mean, mine's kind of in that region too, but like some of the houses between the 60s and the 80s, some of them have holes built into the walls for those kind of air conditioning units to be put in. But yeah, mine doesn't. Mine, I've got like a hollow space underneath the house because of South Australia being rather windy. The air breeze going through the bottom of the house circulates air through the house, so in summertime it doesn't actually get that hot.
Oh.
Whoa. Until you get higher than like 36, and then it starts to get really fucking hot. But that's why we've got the air conditioner.
That's totally fair. Yeah. Yeah, I live in Arizona. You can't. I mean, I guess you could live here without air conditioning, but nobody wants to.
Then you just look like beef jerky.
Dude. Like I don't know when. Let's Google that. When did AC air conditioning become common in Arizona? After World War II, particularly in the 1950s, transitioning from swamp coolers to modern air conditioning systems.
Swamp coolers.
I know. But it wasn't until the construction boom of the 70s and 80s that traditional air conditioning started to replace swamp coolers in many homes. Oh, I did not know that. But yeah, so less than 100 years we've been doing regular air conditioning. And then there's Saxius, who lives in the land of, we don't believe in any kind of, central air of any kind anywhere.
Yep. That is the majority of Europe.
Dude. And when we were there 2 years ago, that was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
London had its heat wave going on, and the air was just sitting there.
Yeah.
You're like, do y'all know what ceiling fans are? Yeah. Get them. Like, all of them. From all over your house.
I'm surprised that they don't have them in pubs and stuff.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously. That was like literally the only thing we hated about our trip, was the fact that the air did not know how to move.
Stagnant, just like the English.
Yeah. Just about.
I direct you towards Ye Olde Geek.
Sorry, I'm contractually obliged to diss the Poms whenever I get a chance.
No, we loved our trip. We just hated the fact that the air did not move. This recent trip was great because it was all rainy, like the whole time, and so like actually, like it was wonderful.
That's good.
Now I kind of want to go back.
Yeah, but then you'll just be annoying people again.
I annoy people anyways.
I know.
I'm not there, and Saxius is already annoyed.
I have quotas to fill.
I have closed.
Yeah, and the Wednesday streams aren't around anymore, so it's difficult to meet my targets.
That's fair. Why do Ye Olde Geek stop doing his Wednesday stream?
So he found that there wasn't enough topics to have weekly conversations about, and his work-life balance took a turn because the owner of the shop died. The new owner came in, and there was a revamp of the shop, and him being the senior shop manager had to basically stick around when they were uprooting everything. And they then learned that some of the people were stealing from the shop, so they had to fire them. And then they had a hard time finding replacements for people because people don't want to work long hours for minimum wage, which yeah, that's understandable. So they struggle on finding people, and for the majority of the time, John basically had to be the one that had to fill in the slots. So being in a shop for 10 to 12 hours at a time just made him tired. And yeah, these days he's primarily doing his fighting fantasy books on Fridays. And he was considering doing a live Let's Play on Wednesday. But otherwise, he's focusing on his own games.
No, that's fine. I
insights.
I get that, because like that's one of the problems with Four Color Cafe with Bear. Just, like he got frustrated and he's like, it's like we don't have anything left to talk about, and so he wanted to stop. And I was like, okay. But he has mentioned wanting to bring it back, and I was actually thinking, instead of doing weekly,
just do
proposing like a monthly one, which I think could be good. Less stress, more like if we want to try and find guests, more time to do that.
Yeah, I mean, with you've got more time on that end. I know that with the Wednesday with Yo Geek, I would often basically go like, here are 5 topics that I think is interesting. Here are 5 mechanics that I would suggest that we go around and discuss about. Here are 5 things that would be this, this, and this. And again, it's down to John to say, does he like, does he not? Sometimes he would say, we're talking about modules. I'm like, cool, I can't help, because I don't do modules. I don't read them. The few ones that I do is very specific. So it's like, I'll bow this one out. So I wouldn't attend those. And then it would be John who had to then run those. And then if it was
Seraphis a topic has tried to do that. We've been bad about it. Suggesting topics and actually following through.
To be fair, lately, just my life balance to trying to put this thing together has not been great.
No. But listen, real life comes first, and if you're going to be doing something weekly, you are going to quickly run into the whole point of like, you've got 52 times you're going to be doing this a year. Are you going to have something you can talk about, or 52 different things you can talk about times however many years you want to do it?
Well, see, if I actually remember to write down things that I think of during the week, I would probably have a topic each week for us to actually discuss and then bloom out of. But I just suck.
No, and there's something to be said for just, what, it's just some time on Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, whatever it is, and we can get together and hang out.
Sunday time zone.
Right. The Sunday time zone, theoretically. No, but it is one of those that it is hard. I know for me, I found it surprisingly easy to do a schedule of stuff for the Wikipedia channel, but the ADHD channel is absolutely just flying by the seat of my pants. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to do this today. So,
I mean, with the accounting DM, I haven't thought about making a return, because I'm like, well, I would love to sit down and talk about Rogue Trader as a tabletop game. There is so much within that I would just happily sit down and just go in and do that. The obstacle I'm facing at the moment is that I've got my own Rogue Trader group, which has a high requirement for me to sit down from Monday to Friday and basically go, I'm now working on this aspect of the coming game. I'm working on that aspect of the coming game. I'm working on this system for the coming game. And then that I spend every Monday to Friday, I'll spend between 1 to 3 hours only on preparing for that. Because Rogue Trader as a system, it is not a beginner-friendly system. As a game master, you've got to come in there and be like, okay, I'm either using the setting where they will have done a lot of heavy lifting for you, but you then have to fill in the gaps. And the modules that they present are very much like, here's the introduction stuff. You have to make things up the moment you hit level 5 and onward. That is on you. You've got to make sure that works. And even within the modules, you will quickly see like, oh, the players didn't do X, Y, and Z in Arc 1. How do I translate that over into Arc 2? I was like, well, that's a lot more legwork on there, which is why I don't think it's a good system to use modules for. And then again, I love the amount of intrigue and politicking, economics that you can get into, because it opens up a whole slew of things. The downside is that I also have to sit down and go, right, as game masters, you have to be ready for the players to not engage, and then say, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'll actually just open a chat that I had with a player, because I recently asked, can you give me some feedback? Because it's been 6 months since the last time I asked for feedback. Are you having fun? What are you having fun with? What are you not having fun with? What do you want to see more of? Like that kind of thing. And one of them that I got told back is like, oh, I feel like we're stuck in our silos, which was the same problem that the player told me 6 months ago. I'm like, well, I have to disagree. I've tried to avoid that. So I listed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scenarios that the players visited, and they said, we don't want to deal with this. So I had to basically turn around and say, listen, I've given you 5 examples where you would not be stuck in your silos. You would have to go and do something. Mm-hmm. But you chose not to. One of them is, there was a planet where there was a chaos cult that was on the rise. The players primarily didn't want to do anything, and it eventually just ended up with them going like, we're just going to obviously bombard this part of the planet. And I was like, okay, cool. You go and you do that. You leave a horrible aftermatch to that. I highlighted that there was another planet where they could go down and do missionary and integration and bringing a new group of humans and hybrids into the Imperium of Man. Because of how things rolled at the time, the NPCs, who are decent, they're not above, like they're not going above and beyond for what they can do. They're just like standard stock. They basically went, oh, these are non-human looking, therefore they are Xenos. Oh, later one of the players actually took all the data that they had about those Xenos, presented it to an organization, and they basically went, no, that's not Xenos, that's just an abhuman. They're just beast. They're human beast, or beast lords, or not beast lords,
mutants.
Beast folk. Yeah, they're mutated, or like, but they're within like the abhuman species. Like it's like goat people. What are the other ones that you can get? You can get feline, which in this case they were lion people. So they're like, no, it's an abhuman species where they're just lion humans. Like they're perfectly acceptable. They can be indoctrinated in. They're acceptable within the imperial cult. So that was fine. They have access to that, but none of the players have done anything. They've instead designated NPCs to go and integrate them, and that's now, rather than that being a couple of weeks, maybe a month, this is now going to be a couple of months of hard work to get this done, because the players said, we don't want to do it. I was like, okay, you won't get it then. I even had an entire underground site prepared for them, mapped out and everything, and the players said, once they interacted with them, they were like, this sounds a bit weird and we don't want to interact with it. They basically just sent it over to the Inquisition. The Inquisition came over, looked at it and went, yeah, you're not allowed on this planet because we know what's on that planet. And the players were going, okay, nothing further, cool. I do have plans for that. Don't worry, this will come back and bite someone in the ass.
It'll bite you in the ass.
And then there's been another one where the players actually said, hey, we're going to go down and investigate this alien spaceship that we found. And they did, and there was an entire thing where they had to go and deal with it.
Why are there all these eggs here?
Yeah.
Shh, it's fine. They're just Kinder Surprises.
Yeah.
Adeptus Utani would never send us into a malicious place.
Exactly. I even highlighted to the players, listen, none of you have actually been keeping track of what planets you've scanned. I have. You haven't. Meaning you've actually got entire areas you haven't done anything with. That's again, I'm not saying that it's a bad. I'm not saying as a complaint. I'm just saying this is that's the reality when you run Rogue Trader. You will prepare 100%. The players might just about get 10%, but you've got to be ready for that. And then you've got to be ready to say, okay, they've been gone X amount of time. This plot hook is now gone. They're not going to get that.
I mean, isn't that any game?
Well, games with sandbox, yes. Games that are linear, no. Like with the linear, you would primarily interact with things that are meant to be interactable with and then make your way forwards, ideally. Sandbox games, you can't just go, well, we're just going to up and leave. I was like, cool. It's a sandbox game. You've got a spaceship. You can just up and fly and leave the system whenever you want. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's so. Then how? But then you run into the problem. Whereas if we don't do this, then it derails the rest of the game, or do you just have to then rewrite it? And yeah, if you're playing the linear game, it's like, well, I've already prepped these 4 sessions out, but they didn't do these things, so they can't do that stuff 4 sessions out. So now I have to rewrite it.
Yep. So what I do is that I go, right, here are the events planned for this system. Here are the plot hooks. If the players, let's say they come into a system and I've got 4 plot hooks. One of them is hidden because they have to go and do certain things. Like, let's say, for example, one of them was on a planet that they came to. There was an alien cult. The players would have to go and interact with the locals and dig through some information to find out, oh, there's a cult here. And it was only because one player basically went, I actually want to go through the data that the NPC said that they've sent up to us, that I went, okay, give me this role. You got X amount of successes. You now get all of this revealed to you as you start going through it, and you just find discrepancies. And it's like, okay. But if they just went, okay, we got the information, we'll just like hand it over to a scribe who goes through. It's like, okay, well, that scribe has a 30% chance of getting that information out. So I will then roll, and I have terrible luck, which means that it's probably going to be a 10% chance that they're actually going to have the plot hook. But the other events are going to be obvious, like there is a ship out there in the space that's giving out an SOS signal. Do you decide to engage? No, we don't, because we are afraid of that. There is a moon over here where there is a signs of civilization, and there are signs of volcanic activities that could erupt out. Do you then go out and try and help them? No, that sounds dangerous for our pilots. Let's not do that. I was like, cool. Those are the 4 plot hooks. What do you do thereafter? And then I throw it back to the group's court, and they're like, oh, we don't know what to do. I'm like, well, I'm going to sit here until you suggest something. And maybe 5-10 minutes is going to go by. I'm going to go, right, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And if nothing happens, I'm just going to point at someone and say, you roll me a D100. And then there's a random event on the ship that happens, and then we're going to have a ship shipping count or like local ship events that they have to deal with because clearly they don't want to do anything.
That's fair.
And again, that's how I handle it. So if they don't want to do that, that's all good. I do like how we've got a guy who's trying to press himself through a letterbox to get through to us.
There's a reason we kept it that small. Keep the riffraff out.
No, yeah, well, they're right there. They're going like, yeah, I can sniff the quality podcast right through this letterbox.
Is that what we're calling it?
Listen, there are worse people out there than us. We have decent qualities. We have regularity.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we are consistent.
Consistently inconsistent.
No, we're consistent that we show up and we talk. Quality of what is being discussed is questionable. We never promised that.
That's where we go off the rails.
Exactly.
So I guess I missed the first hour and a half. Can y'all go back and start over?
No.
It was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And Christopher Lee was there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee was there.
Yeah.
And James Bond.
Yep.
What else?
Trying to do my It impersonation.
Are you floating down there?
They all float.
Oh,
They all
that
float.
It. I thought you meant cousin.
I don't watch it. That was kind of creepy.
Cousin It.
No, I look whatever noise Brian was making, or
Cousin
he
It.
was making.
Yeah, Cousin It.
That's not. It was creepier than that. I think it's your audio.
It probably is. I'm getting like a distorted Dr. Soydberg attempt of like, that goes. Yeah, exactly. Just like, that's the one. Like he's like, trying to do that. It's just distorted. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm mildly distracted. I'm needing some 2-ring binders, which are surprisingly hard to find in the US.
They are annoyingly everywhere here in Australia.
Walmart. You have to actually get out of your house and go there, but they have them
Really?
in the office selection or section.
Hold on. 2-ring or 3-ring?
All ring. They even have up to 5-ring.
Really? Huh. I will
Really?
check.
Yeah.
I'm on Amazon and it's a very, very limited selection. Plenty of 3-ring. Anyways. So.
I mean, do you really want to be looking up rings on Amazon? We know how bad the Rings of Power failed.
I specifically put in 2-ring binder. If it's giving me anything related to Rings of Power, then that search engine has failed.
Oh, I get weird shit like that when I try to look up stuff on Amazon. Which is why
Just
I
don't look up
Amazon.
1-ring binder or ring binder.
To briefly deviate, because I'm just seeing the comment from Jason. Don't go fishing for player interaction with hooks. Use the plot spear gun.
The plot spear gun.
I mean, sometimes, yeah, I will use that, but in my specific game, I've made it abundantly clear that player interaction equals events. So if the players decide not to interact, or if there's only one player that decides to interact, then that player is going to get it, and the rest is going to, well, I'm sorry, they're going to suffer. If you're not interested in putting investment into the game, I'm not going to be doing much. Again, like going back to me having the conversation with the players, because it was 6 months since I last checked in, I blatantly told some, listen, if you don't do anything, and if you don't talk to me about what you want to achieve, how am I meant to know? And I mean, a separate player said, I want to be a spy mistress. I'm like, cool. When were you going to tell me? Because you never gave me any indication. No, like, you never gave me any indication this is the direction you want to go, first and foremost. You just told me you wanted all these random things. I can't sit and put it together for you. And yeah, I know, Jason, it's a fair thing, but in my case, I've tried to tell them upfront about it. I've tried to do it like every time I do a check-in. So I've tried to be transparent about it. I've tried to tell them, if you don't want to be stuck in your silos, if you want your character to have ambition and all these things, you need to give me ideas of what I can put out in front of you so that you are motivated to go out and do it. But if what I present to you is shut down, then I am assuming you're not interested in what I am putting effort into making for you, and I'm trying to redirect it. But eventually I'm going to run out of ideas. And eventually I will just go, I don't know how to engage with you, so I'm going to stop. And
yeah,
your
and
character becomes an NPC.
Well, that's actually a really interesting point. Like I literally, and this is gonna sound dumb, and everybody's gonna be like, "Well, duh," but it very much is a conversation. Yeah, like we've been sitting here for an hour and a half, going back and forth, playing off of each other, like okay, Seraphis said this, so so I'm going to respond with this. But it's very much the same thing in a game, that if they're not contributing to the conversation, what do you do? I want to be a spy. You should tell me that at some point, maybe during character creation.
Yeah, you might not even know during character creation. That's fine. Like, we're 6 sessions into the game, and what is your character wanting to do? Like, I will look through the character sheets and basically go like, this is the background that you have. These are the things I can pull upon. This is, what you chose to build your character upon. Let me see if I can play those strings. And it's like, oh, you don't like them? Cool. I'm not going to put a pin in that, since that seems to have no resonation with you. So I'm going to go to the next thing I can, or the next thing, until I run out of things. And then I go, right, what is this? And if I don't get a direct answer, it's like, well, cool. Here's a shelf. You can sit up there and you can collect dust. Because I don't like in a campaign like that with Rogue Trader, where it is a sandbox, which means it has to be player driven. I will have world events. The world is going to move on without it. If the players say, we are going to sit here for the next 12 months, I'm going to go, right, at this point this happens. Does anyone do anything? Nope. At this point this happened. Does anyone do anything? At this point this faction dies. Does anyone do anything? Nope. And now we are here at 12 months. And we're ending the session here. Yes, we've only been here for 25 minutes, but I now need to sit and redo all my notes. So thank you for showing up.
Yes.
That's how it is. And again, I don't mind if that's what the players want to do. But it will then come to a stage of where it's like, right, I have prepared all of these things. This was the major various plot hooks that you guys could go and do. It's now been dealt with other NPCs. You are no longer needed in this region. Where do you go? I was like, oh, but isn't this where you made into a thing? Yeah, but apparently that is resolved because you decide to sit and let everyone else solve the problems for you.
Yeah, so
okay, Saxius, I want to play a Adeptus Mechanicus Servitor, and I want a side project of secretly making like an army of machine snake dragon things, so that every time we have a problem on the planet, I just launch them down to the planet.
Right, quick question first. Did you say servitor or do you just mean mechanicus, tech priest?
Remember, servitors are robots.
Yeah, they're
built on
lobotomized.
biosystems.
They're lobotomized people. The tech priests are the actual people who then go and make and fix things. I just need to clarify.
Yeah, no, sorry. I think tech priest. Yeah, I forgot servitors.
I mean, we can let him play a servitor.
I mean, no, I wouldn't, because literally that is supposed to be it's a utensil. It's a tool.
No, I know. I want to do this. You can't. You're a robot. You're gonna keep mopping the floor like we told you to.
Exactly.
Initiating protocol 721. 722.
Exactly. If you wanted to be a tech priest, it's like, well, I dabble into like unrestrained dark mechanicus stuff. Go for it. Yeah, that's how you go out and do things. I often say, like, I would love to play a rogue trader xenophile, where it's like, I love aliens. I want to interact with them. I want to go out and do them. I'd love to hire some of them and like open up the door where someone's like, oh, I want to play an orc. I'm like, oh, cool. You as a player now need to justify why you work for me. I'm like, because you're the biggest and you're the strongest. Okay, well, when you become the biggest and the strongest, will that become a problem? And the player might go, no. And like, okay, how do I keep you in check then? And I'll then, as a player, I'll push for that player to give me reasons to keep them on the bridge so that I keep them engaged and interacted. Go on, Seraphis.
The orc keeps following you because your Imperial Guard overcoat is red.
Makes perfect sense. There you go. All the logic in the world needed is red. That is quick human.
He's the fastest. Oh, I gotta follow him to be as fast as him.
And he just jumps on like a Segway, just scoots along. So you can have all these things, and again, like with Rogue Trader, there's so many different things you can do. You can do, puritanical, dogmatic. You can be, engaged in the cold trade. You can go out and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna take these plans and secede. I'm gonna make my own kingdom, my own empire, or blackjacks and hookers. I'm saying, there you go. You can, of course, you can. I'm all for it. I'd encourage things like that. I love the whole empire building because I get to have my spreadsheets. My spreadsheets are my sustenance. It is my bread and my water.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've been making up my little self-styled cards using Magic the Gathering templates. And they're going to be all the cards of my various magical items in the 3.5 game. So my Artificer will have his own set of cards that are his creations to then be able to use for himself or pass out for things made for other players and stuff. That's kind of been my weekend.
I can't say that Magic the Gathering got me. Which might have been a good thing, because it's just a cardboard crack. Just like Games Workshop has got their plastic crack.
Oh, I don't play Magic the Gathering. All I know about it is that it's what Wizards of the Coast used to do.
I'm mixed. I remember playing it. I remember playing it when it came out.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And like I have a couple of decks. Not like literally just bought a couple of commander decks. Just to play with some friends, but like it's rare, so I'm not that invested into it. But it's not a bad game.
No, I think it's like the few times I've played it, I've done like kitchen counter thing of like we're just gonna play for fun, and I usually just go like, okay, I want like red and green combination because I just want to throw a lot of enemies at my opponents and be like, I've got more attacks, you can't defend yourself against all of them. Eventually I will get through your wall of defenses will eventually be breached. I will get over them, I will get under them, or I will build a wall of bodies that I shall climb over to get towards you. And most people are like, this is a highly inefficient strategy. Yes, but it amuses me. I get to play the Soviet anthem in the background as I launch waves of monsters at you. Are they armed? No. Do they have to pick up the weapons and artifacts of those in front of them? Yes. Does this amuse me? Oh God, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I mean, the strong survive that way.
They do.
True.
I think it is probably the point where I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to dip. I've got to go and torture myself in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Are you familiar with that game, Brian?
I know of it.
Yeah. You get to play as a peasant. You get to play as a peasant who can't lift a sword. You have to train yourself up to then face off against the enemies. It's great. You go to the trainer and he's like, "Hey, let's train you." It's like, okay, you go into a ring with a wooden sword and you're like, "Oh, okay, this is not that bad." And then the trainer's like, "Okay, well, you seem to know how to wield a sword." Like, "Yeah, I know what to do. Great, let's have a proper fight." And then he proceeds to kick you from one end of the training ground to the other end, to the point of where you literally have to drag yourself over to the healer and go, "I need help. I am about to die." And they will heal you up. You spend the next 2 in-game days recovering, only to have to go back to the trainer and go, "I only leveled up my skill 1 point. Can I have some more beatings, sir?" The beatings will continue until your stats improve.
The beatings will continue until your stats improve.
It's great. And I've recently had to then go like, oh, there's an achievement where if you complete the game without learning how to read and write, which, by the way, you can read and write to begin with, that would be historically inaccurate.
That'd be overpowered.
Exactly. So you have to spend time learning how to read and write, and they make it so that even if you pick up a book, if your literacy skill is too low, it's like you're dyslexic and all the letters have just jumbled around and you can't make heads and tails of it. Like, you literally cannot read it. So I'm like, okay, I need to do alchemy to help on one of the quests, but that means I need to learn how to read and write, which means I can't get the achievement. So I have to memorize what plants I put together in what formation with how long, so that I can make the concoctions to heal people. I have to get out a notebook and write this shit down.
Oh, that's just how I play Morrowind. Come on.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's what I'm currently going through. I am playing the Warhammer Fantasy equivalent for a video game. Can I get poisoned? Yes. Can I eat food that is then poisonous? Yes. Was it poisoned by others? No, it just went bad. There's a limitation for the food that you can have. The moment you buy it, there's a percentage for how quickly it spoils. And unless you pick a trait that is called the human dustbin, the moment it gets below 50%, it is now poisonous to you.
Which also, good luck knowing, what that time frame is, because you can't read the screen. So yeah,
I can't read a book. I can read my screen, thankfully, but it's like I can't upgrade my skills. I can't upgrade certain things unless I go out and I do it over and over and over. And by the way, just because we need you to suffer a little bit more, Brian, just a little bit more. If you need to go and get and train your archery, you can only improve your archery by shooting other things. You can't shoot humans because that's illegal. You're not allowed to shoot other farmers' animals because that's illegal. And if you go into the forest and start shooting the animals there, you can be arrested for poaching because that's illegal. So how do you improve your archery? The answer is you commit crime. That is the only way you can do it. It's either that or you return into the training grounds so you can improve your agility by dodging, ducking, and weaving your way through all the attacks that will inevitably beat you down to the ground and pummel your face in. Because the trainer believes that only through pain shall you become strong. Like, I have broken my legs. You shall become stronger with time. Now hold out your arm so I can beat them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a game run by myself.
And what better advertising is there than that, really? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Play Kingdom Come Deliverance. I assume 1 or 2, either one.
Either one of them, yeah.
And it would be like Saxius is running a game for you.
It's just you, the world, and suffering.
It's just you, the world, and suffering.
Like one of my D&D friends even went like, Oscar, I need to play this game, and I had to wait an hour for the latest update. That was an hour I could have spent walking through the wilderness of Czech Republic, suffering, dying, dehydrated, and unable to find a bed to sleep in. I could have had a happy time. It's great. All right, gentlemen. That's been fun. I hope I've given you some tickles.
As always.
See you, Saxes.
Bye.
Well,
and
I think
there were 2.
Yep. I think that's a pretty good place to end it anyway, because that was. I don't think we can top that.
That's fair. So, good night, everybody.
Yes, and I mean it's fucking almost 12:30 here anyway, so.
Or good morning, whatever.
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. And yeah, we will see you next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat channel as.
Theoretically.
But yeah, theoretically.
The kids could finally drive Seraphis to drink. Just...
Technically, I can drink. It's just, I'll have to go to hospital. Because apparently alcohol is now just poisonous to me. Fuck. I'm fucking Australian. That's...
And the